Let me make sure it's stored too. Hi, everyone. My name is Mel Robertson, and I'd like to welcome you to the Dare to Dream Bigger Summit, where you're going to learn how to harness the power of creation, get clear about your desires, and bring your biggest dream into reality. I'm so excited to share with you the expert I have for you today. Her name is Jewells Black, and I chose her because she can produce the X Factor appeal you need to deliver your best performance and be brilliant now. Julianne Black is an international speaker, author, and producer of bold and irresistible communicators. Julianne shares her 22 years experience to give you the secrets she's learned both on camera and behind the scenes as a top TV producer who wants to be a millionaire production manager at Sydney Olympic Games opening ceremony to help creative entrepreneurs and corporate executives and emerging leaders captivate, educate, and inspire their audiences with purpose and value. Julianne combines her expertise as a mindset, body language, and NLP trainer to give you all the cool tools to create transformational and long-lasting change. You'll leave feeling inspired and wowed by your own capacity to step into the spotlight with a message that inspires and body language that influences you so you feel irresistible, confident, and at ease in front of any sized audience. There is no need to keep being your own best-kept secret. Feeling stressed and anxious on a regular basis? You will love how easy it actually is to produce your own superstar appeal, and Julianne will show you how. Are you ready to be brilliant now? Hi, Julianne. Welcome.
Hello. How are you? What an introduction.
I'm wonderful. It's so great to have you here.
It's really terrific to be here.
Would you want to take a moment just to share a little bit more about you before we begin to our audience?
Sure. Wow, it's been such a journey to get here, and I love the whole name and title of this Summit, Dare to Dream, because I suppose my dream started way back when I was a 7 or 8-year-old, and I was doing some commercials. So I was being a child model, doing lots of posters and TV commercials and magazines and catalogs. And this fire and passion was lit all the way back then. And then in my school holidays, I would work as an assistant to a casting director. And then at 19, I managed a modelling agency for a couple of years before landing my first role in TV. And that kind of went on and took a life of its own. And I just loved the people that I worked with. It was a career that I was very, very passionate about. What was interesting, though, was on the inside that I would second guess myself still, and I would doubt myself, and I never felt like I had a voice of influence. And so sometimes I felt crippled into inaction, even though this fabulous resume, I suppose you could call it, kind of depicts a different story. So it was always something on the inside, which is what got me fascinated about how and why do we make decisions the way we make them? How do we communicate the way we communicate? You know, have you ever made one of those decisions where you know how that movie's going to end, but you still make the decision anyway?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I was eager to find out what the purpose of all that was. What if, we could create that X Factor appeal? Could anybody create that X Factor appeal in themselves if we actually wanted it? And so I decided that I've spent the last 10 years researching and traveling to different countries and speaking on different stages all around the States and soon to be in Brazil. And I've realized that there are a couple of things that we do quite naturally, and that's the methodology that I've brought to life. And so I love asking my audiences, if your life was a TV show, would you watch it?
Right.
And a lot of people, I'm surprised, they come back and they kind of say, no way, or, well, sort of. And then others are like, oh, no, it's just too boring, or I'm not really doing what I want to do. So it's, it's fascinating when we start to think about life as a movie or life as a TV show. What would be possible for us to achieve if it really was?
Mhm. I love that.
Yeah, it's really fun. And yeah.
So you, in doing this, you talk about 5 key roles that we need to master in order to actually produce a brilliant life. Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to. It became very apparent when I was going through my own things, because when I realized that I had fallen behind the scenes and into a career which I absolutely loved, yet there was something inside of me which was still left unanswered, unresolved and untapped. And this was a career kind of in front of people, inspiring them. And when I realized that I had to play a bigger game within myself, I got to a point where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in charge of producing my own life. And it felt like it was such a unique concept, but a foreign concept all at the same time. So the first key element is the producer. Have you designed a compelling life purpose that fuels you with passion to take action so you can live the life you love? So the producer equals your life purpose and vision. What are we going for here? What dreams, what aspirations, what do you want to achieve? And then the second aspect is the scriptwriter. And are you writing a storyline for your life that empowers you to be brilliant now? So the scriptwriter equals your backstory, so who you've been, because it's been an extraordinary journey up until now, and everything that you've endured, all the plot twists, all the characters that you've played, all the people you've cast in your TV show, all of them have helped shape the character that you're playing today. So the scriptwriter is recognizing what beliefs do you have that both empower and limit you. And then we can get in and recognize those limiting beliefs. How do we edit them? How do we rewrite a new script that actually moves you forward towards the vision that you actually want to have for yourself?
I love that.
Yeah, the scriptwriter is so empowering. And I was saying to my students the other day that can you imagine that inside of your head, if you're used to playing a role that lacks confidence, then you're going to be writing scripts for yourself that have you appear in scenes that have you lack confidence. And so without you realizing the power of this, you're just walking into a scene and you're just automatically going into that particular character. And when you do that, I see like this person behind a typewriter with lots of pages going, I don't know how to do this. New page. They're all better than me. New page. I just don't have the words to share right now. New page. So it makes it to a comical side of things, which of course displaces resistance. Because when we realize it's just a character role that we've been playing, then we can go, wow, how do I really want it to be rather than what I have been playing? Which leads directly into the next one, which is the director. And the director is, are you in control of your life, directing your best performance in each scene? So are you directing your life, or are you being directed by others? So the director is about having the power in every moment. If we realize that every new interaction that we have is like a new scene with different characters in the world, and if we, I know for myself that there's been times, and you may have experienced it too, Mel, where you're involved in this scene and you've had a bit of a plan as to how you wanted it to go, but you're there going, no, and the whole thing goes into slow motion, and you're like, this isn't the way that I wanted it to go. No, that's not what I meant. And so the director gives you an opportunity to say cut and see things from different camera angles and have a chat to the star and say, look, this is the intention of this scene. This is how I need you to perform in this scene for us to achieve that intention. And then you can take a few breaths, get back into character, and then call action. And the cool thing about this is it only takes a couple of moments. It doesn't take a long time. It just takes a couple of moments. Which, of course, then goes straight into the scene of the star. You know, I know a lot of people actually, you know, do take center stage portraying your character in a genuine, believable and engaging way, the way that that vision of yours, that life purpose of yours deserves? Or are you playing a shitty bit part in someone else's movie? Right? So the star is, what I recognize is a lot of people deserve an Oscar for the performance that they've been giving in their life. It's just not the performance that they'd like to win an Oscar for.
Right.
So the star is all about your signature style and your performance. How are you performing in every day? What are your attitudes, attributes, and the style, your appearance as well? And is that congruent? Is that aligned with the life purpose and the vision that you hold for yourself? And then the fifth component is about being in the audience and sitting in the front row of your life. And are you on the edge of your seat, captivated to know how will it all turn out?
I am.
Or are you sitting there kind of... Exactly. So the audience is about your results and outcomes and knowing how to course correct as necessary. So if you're not getting the results that you want, then how do you course correct in order to make sure that you do get the results that you want?
Absolutely. I love that it's so easy that you can course correct. You don't have to scrap everything. It's just you can change your course. It's okay.
100%. And as Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, a lot of times it's not to do with the vision that you have. That's not the thing that's flawed. It's the plan that you have in order to achieve the vision that needs tweaking.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people actually toss out what they feel in their heart is their purpose. And it's like, no. Let's create a real and tangible vision as to what that looks like and give it some clarity. And then let's put a plan into place, a script, if you like, a script and a schedule into place to help you achieve that. And then the director is in charge of making sure that each day you're directing your movie and yourself in order to achieve the outcome. So it's a box office success instead of a flop.
Lovely. So how does mastering these 5 roles in our lives help us in Dare to Dream Bigger bring our biggest dream into reality?
Well, it gives you choice. It helps you become empowered, and it also allows you to know that you're in charge. So if you're not, I mean, it's pretty clear, if you're not getting the results, you're either going to have the results that you want or you're going to have reasons and excuses why you don't have the results that you want.
That's the truth.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
It's kind of quite simple.
So being that this is Dare to Dream Bigger, I always like to give my experts an opportunity to talk about a big dream that they've manifested in their life and what that creation process has been like for them. Do you have one you'd like to share?
Yes. What I can share within this also is that I've never seen transformation without a whole lot of mess. Right? So the birth of anything anything, brilliant or otherwise, it needs a lot of mess and work to get through in order to have it come to life. So I suppose, as I touched on in earlier, that one of the because this passion of mine had been to be on camera, and then I went behind the scenes, I actually just thought that was the way that it was. You know, I just, you know, I had such a disempowered mentality towards it, because I was like, I thought that showing up was enough. And I think that if there's one thing that I've learned, that, you know, it takes more than just showing up to live a brilliant life. Mm. And what I mean by that is that I used to stand in for the host, and I would act as if that a director would be walking past the control room at that specific time and say, "Oh my God, Julianne Black, she's amazing. Let's put her on camera." But I was so good at what I did that I kept myself safe by being behind the scenes. Mm. So it wasn't until I went into personal inquiry that I developed the confidence and the passion and the belief in myself in order to bring this vision to life. I had to get clear on the vision. I had to recognize what beliefs I was holding that limited me, what part of my story in the past that I needed to heal, how I could direct some interactions and some cake-inspired action in order to make this dream a reality. And so slowly but surely, I put myself in front of different groups and started talking and presenting to them about what I'd learned to help fast-track their ability also, as well as to help bring my dream to life. So it's been a long journey. There's been still times when in the past I have done that old behavioural patterns of second-guessing my ability, being like doubting myself and feeling like I didn't have a voice of influence. And so whenever those things come up, I realize that it's an opportunity for me to have a look inside of them again, rather than just fall prisoner to them. You know, what is it that they're trying to share with me, those beliefs? How do I need to perform in order to rise above them and to empower and captivate myself moving forward?
I love what you just said, in order to captivate myself moving forward. I love that. I need to captivate myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the fun thing about having the production side of things, is that things need to be fun and entertaining and enjoyable.
Mhm. I love seeing it from another perspective, because I've always focused on feeling good and having fun in my life, but now thinking of it in perspective, does it look like fun from the outside? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, you know, I think the evolution of someone going after their life purpose, it takes so much courage, and it's an opportunity to be braver for 5 minutes longer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's an ever-evolving process. There's a great saying of every new level has a new devil. So every time you up level, you're going to feel awkward, and you're gonna question it. But you've got to do it anyway.
Right. Well, even if you think of a video game sense, every time you up level, the obstacle at the end gets bigger, right?
Exactly, and that's exactly the analogy that I use.
The more you evolve.
And it just means that those life lessons that we're here to master. See, it's not about disowning them, it's about mastering them. And that every time we get confronted by something, that old life lesson, that you know, it's like our old BS. And so rather than treating our best friend and disowning that aspect of ourselves, it's like, how can we embrace that What are you nervous? Like, essentially, it's our unconscious mind tapping us on the shoulder saying, hey, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. That's the whole aspect of anxiety. You know, we've got this beautiful body that tells us from a physiological point of view, hey, you're not focusing on what you want. You're focusing on what you don't want. Let's flip that around. Let's bring the scene up as to how we want it to be.
That's great. Wow. So it's been such a great interview with you, Jewells, and a lot of great content I think we've gotten out there for people. And I understand that you have a free gift you want to share with everyone?
Yes, I do. It's called the 12 Keys to a Brilliant First Impression. And it's just a little one-pager kind of infographic that you can print out and put on the fridge, pop it in your diary. There's 6 tips of what not to do as well. And you can get that as a free download at bebrilliantnow.com/checklist.
Perfect. And then for everybody listening, there'll be a link in the email that came with this interview, so you'll be able to just click the link directly from this email. Excellent. Jewells, thanks so much. What a great gift.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you like to share any last words before we close?
I would. Look, I believe that the most spectacular results in people occur when your confidence, creativity, and performance intersect, and when you unleash those aspects, remarkable things happen. I also believe that it's about loving who you are and what you're up to in the world that will help you to have the most positive influence to yourself, to those around you, and to the planet on a whole. So whenever we can give ourselves an opportunity to be wowed by our own capacity to be brilliant now, I feel like it's just the greatest gift that we can give to the world.
It really
is.
You
are the star of your life.
Yeah. And please shine.
Yeah, exactly. Take center stage.
Yeah.
This is your time. This is your time to start. And, you know, it is a long journey, and it can be really scary taking those first steps, and even the 100th step, and even the 1,000th step. But if you stay true to your heart as to what it is that you want to achieve for yourself, then it gets easier the more you do it. But you have to start. You have to stay the course, and you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
So stop hoping to be brilliant tomorrow and be brilliant now.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. Jewells, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the Dare to Dream Bigger Summit.
My pleasure. It's been great to be here.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.